Excellent. All right, so now the video starts. So if you want to go back and watch this on YouTube later, starting from this point on, we'll be on YouTube hopefully by this afternoon. All right. Chemistry is concerned with an energy and how you idea. It's also fundamental health which if you're let's talk about big ideas molecule. So I think it gives me the components they can properly. Nice.
Excellent. Any other thoughts?
What's in your air?
Oxygen.
Good choice. Oxygen. And there's going to be a smattering of other
Things, right?
some noble gases in there, some other carbon monoxide, dioxide,
All those guys are.
in there. We'll look at carbon monoxide. All right, is carbon monoxide an atom or a molecule? How many people, I'll let you think about
About for a second, atom.
a molecule. How many people are feeling it's an atom? How many people think it's a molecule? How many people have
Yeah.
it is a molecule?
And we'll talk.
How many people
Spend some time drawing
molecules in whatever chemistry class
class they last took.
a little bit
Lewis dot structure.
structures?
A little bit.
Okay, good.
We will get
To that. But for now,
I'm just
I'm
going
going to say it contains
to a carbon and
an
an
oxygen, and I
won't
won't
draw in all the extra.
extra bonds and Lewis dots. If you
Want to go ahead
and
and
do that, feel free to.
fill it in. It's just
Just
for
those
those
of us who haven't gotten that far, we'll
to
just
start real slow.
there's a C,
Test.
an O. All right, so it contains one carbon and one oxygen. One carbon, one oxygen held together by a bond.
Bond.
And these are all
Really cool idea.
ideas we'll talk about some more.
As the semester goes on.
How do you know it's
Carbon.
How do you know it's oxygen?
How do you know they're held together?
What is a bond?
What are those
Those little dots hanging around
on the outside on your
Lewis dot structure. How do you know they're
there?
How do you know they're an electron, not a proton?
Proton or a neutron?
How
How
do
do
we know electrons versus neutrons
neutrons versus protons
even
even
exist?
big questions?
Which I'm sure you guys
I've spent lots of
time
time
in your free time thinking about.
or discussing
The
it.
last party you went to, you
Probably had a real great discussion
about
single versus double bonds
and
and how you know.
know which one's which.
I have no doubt you
You guys
guys.
seem like a smart crowd. So,
So if that
that is a molecule.
we also have to worry about
About
what is an
atom and what is a
molecule.
So atoms are
Particles
particles that constitute
the fundamental
the building block of matter.
and a
Molecules are
two or more
that's a
typo.
two or more atoms.
Just testing you guys.
Seeing your reading skills, how
How
are
are
they?
they going?
Molecules
Molecules
are two or more
atoms joined together.
together in some way.
So it could be a
Bond, it could be covalent,
covalent, it could be ionic,
it could be
a variety of different options.
and so
All molecules contain
atoms
but atoms
do not contain molecules.
That's right, one of those.
Those kind of relationships. So how do
Properties substances depend on molecules and atoms. So everybody has seen this joke, I am sure, at science in some point, where there's the one atom or one guy talking to another guy, and the first guy says, I'll take H2O. The other guy says, I'll take H2O2. But he really means like TOO, not to the number. And so the second guy dies because he just drank hydrogen peroxide. Right, that's fairly common chemistry humor. Our jokes are better than that. That's a very standard one. I have much, much funnier chemistry jokes, but that's a good starter. So, right, that's a big difference. This guy, which is a 1, versus this guy, which is a 2, makes a huge difference. Right? There's between thirst quenching and dying from having your insides eaten. You know? Just that one little oxygen makes a big, big deal. Okay. This guy over here, my guy water. So water's going to be one of my molecules, and it's going to be composed of 2 hydrogen atoms. And 1 oxygen atom. A hydrogen peroxide over here. Is going to be composed of 2 hydrogen and 2 oxygen atoms. So the big key point for this kind of introductory part is how different molecules work is due to a few things. I'd say 1, type of bond. How strongly are the atoms linked together? And then the number and kind of atoms that are being held together. So in this case, the type of bond between this kind of molecule and this kind of molecule, very similar. They're being stuck together with covalent bonds. But the number and type of atoms being contained makes a big difference. Right, that one little extra oxygen. So luckily for us, we have this whole area called chemistry that helps us understand types of bonding, numbers and kinds of bonding, and how those things affect function. And you are on your great voyage to learn more about chemistry and how this affects your everyday life. All right, we'll do one more obvious review area for the day. All right, I'm sure whoever you had for chemistry made a big point of the fact that matter has mass and mass is not weight. That mass is an effect of gravity's pull on it, which is different than weight and gravity. Okay, good. So mass is not the same as weight. We're going to talk about everything in here in terms of mass. So for now, ignore the word weight in your terminology and just use the word mass, at least when you're in here. Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. Just to be redundant. And matter comes in general 3 phases. I'm sure someone in here could probably think of the 4th crazy phase, but for now we're going to stick to 3 main phases. We'll get to the 4th crazy phase by the end of the semester, but for now we'll stick to 3. So solid, it's our phase of matter
That has fixed volume.
volume and a fixed shape.
This is where
Our atoms and or molecules, depending
on what
is the solid at the time. They
pack closely together.
at fixed locations.
So in a solid, everybody has
A spot, and that spot is pretty much assigned, and there's not a lot of wiggle room
in terms of what
they can do.
we can also
Talk about liquids. A liquid has a fixed volume but an indefinite shape. It takes the shape of whatever.
whatever you pour it into.
All right, that sounds familiar.
In this case, atoms
Or molecules pack closely,
like in a solid,
which is why they have a fixed volume, but they can move. So instead of it being a fixed location, they now are in a location that they can slide past each other and take up
some of the other.
other spots. And then we got gases. There's
Gas is indefinite shape.
indefinite volume, takes up whatever space is given to it. It's compressible.
Expandable.
In this case, atoms are molecules. Have lots of space between them. And they can move. So far, everybody feel fairly confident about what we've
Talked about so far.
Good, fairly confident. All right, we will stop there for today. And on Wednesday, we'll do the rest of the review of
The difference between
element and a compound, a physical change and a chemical change, and then everybody's favorite,
scientific notation.
and unit conversion. So bring a calculator on Wednesday, because you'll need it. And I will see you guys then. If you